Hiya, good evening. Welcome to E18 Yoga. We're really lucky today because the weather's amazing, so it means we're back out in the garden for our yoga practice. Hopefully some of you can join me. It'd be nice to see you. If you have any requests for today's class, please let me know. Be that, no, I'm not going to move the table and chairs. Marla, hi Marla. I'm not going to move the table and chairs. I don't want the table and chairs moved. Apparently it's cutting off the end of the mat, so my husband's moving the table and chairs. But what he doesn't realise is that I've actually lent the compost against the table.
How big should I brought it? Because you can't.
Okay. Who else is with us? Val, hello Val. Hope you're well. We're trying to do this landscape rather than portrait because then I can upload it to YouTube, and it means that if you're not on Facebook, you can still see this class. So we're just moving the table and chairs out of the way. I hope you're all well. We need to put the comments on. Is it off? And then hopefully I'll get comments coming through, but they're still not coming through. Hi Dawn, hope you're well. Let me know if you have any requests. And technically it's just one of those days. Even the comments still on. Oh right, Vicky Thompson's there, Angela Sims is there, and 4 other people are watching. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you're all well. Are you ready, Paul? Because it's time to start. I'm not being very helpful with my helpful assistant. I'm complaining. Okay, make your way down onto your mats, find a comfortable space. Lower back stretches, yes Victoria, Lady Victoria Thompson, we can do low back stretches. But everybody's going to start on the floor. Hello Martin, hope you're well. Okay, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Chin is low, pointing down the body, back of the neck is long. Just turn your arms so they open out. Have your feet at least hip distance apart and allow the knees to drop into one another. This actually brings your lower back and your sacrum into a neutral position. So it's a really good place to be for lower back. So if your lower back's a bit because you've done whatever you've done to it, this is a good place to lay, and this is how to lay to bring that lower back into a neutral position. So we're going to start off with some breath. So we're going to start to breathe in and out through the nose. Just focus on your breathing as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Shimmy those shoulders away from the ears. Make sure you're completely comfortable. And then as you breathe in, feel the tummy rise. And as you breathe out, the tummy falls. Breathing in, feel the tummy rise. Breathing out, the tummy falls. Breathing in, feel the tummy rise, the ribs expand, the collarbones lift. Petal, he doesn't need a bath. Breathing in, tummy rises, ribs expand, collarbones lift. Breathing out, collarbones sink, the ribs go back towards the spine, and the tummy is drawn away and away to the earth. Just in time with your own breath, feeling your lungs expand front, back and sides as you inhale and as you exhale. During this yoga class, we try to breathe in and out through our nose. I can't see you, so if something doesn't feel right or you feel any sharp pain, stop what you're doing immediately and come to a neutral position either on the floor or standing. This is your class, your time. Do what feels right for you. If your body starts to shake, you can no longer breathe in and out through your nose, or you can feel yourself tensing up in the jaw area. Those are all signs that you should come out of the pose and return to a neutral position. So don't wait for me to tell you to finish, you choose when to finish. And with yoga, we always work it as a union. Yoga means union of your mind, your heart, and your body. So as you're focusing on your breath, start to bring a little bit more awareness into your breathing. Gently and slowly start to deepen your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. And as the breath deepens, start to bring small movements into your fingers and your toes, and start to wriggle your fingers and wriggle your toes. A little nod of the head from side to side. Maybe a little stretch. Oh, I hope you can hear me okay. If at any time you can't hear me, I've got another phone here, so I'll see the comment if you can't hear me. Hi Sarah, how are you? I hope you're well. And then from here, we're going to bring the right knee in towards the tummy. Have your right knee in, have your left knee still pointing up towards the sky. And keep drawing that right knee in towards you. So it's not just hanging on to it, we're hoping the gravity will help bring our thigh as we exhale closer to our body. And stay here for a little bit, just opening that side of the back. And then if you feel you want to go deeper into the stretch, or if your back feels like it needs a deeper stretch, then stretch the left leg away from you on the floor, so the left toes point up towards the sky and the left leg is straight. Left leg is straight, toes pointing up to the sky. My students reached up. Keep drawing that right knee in towards your chest. Keep drawing in, drawing it in, drawing it in. Beautiful, good job. Place the right foot on the floor and bring the left knee in towards your chest. Hug it in for all it's worth. Hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. Good job. Keep hugging. And then again, after a few breaths, if you feel like you need a deeper stretch on your back, just elongate the right leg straight along the mat, point the toes up to the sky, but keep drawing the left leg in towards you. And breathing, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. It's all going on, all going on. Keep breathing, keep drawing it in, and then place the left foot on the floor and bring the right foot, so that's also on the floor, both knees pointing up towards the sky. And then a nice inhalation, and as you exhale, bring both knees in towards your tummy. Breathing in and out through your nose, drawing them in, drawing them in, drawing them in. And then when they can get no closer, walk your hips away from you. So you're trying to elongate the back of the body by walking your hips away from you. It brings in a gentle rocking motion from side to side. My neighbours are playing basketball. If you can hear them in the background, it's my neighbours playing basketball with their kids, which is quite sweet. So then just bring that small rocking motion from side to side, taking your head in the opposite direction to your knees. We're not going hugely over, we're just getting that lower back moving. Lower backs take a lot of strain, especially when we're doing things like lifting and training and gardening and housework. The lower back takes all the effort because we don't always remember to bend our knees when we lift things up. Just keep rocking from side to side. And then the next time you go over to the left, come back to center. Place your hands on top of your knees and then start to draw circles with your knees. 3 times one way and 3 times the other way. Now if you want this to be a bigger stretch, do this on your bed because it enables more softness underneath the spine and you get a much, much bigger stretch. A much, much bigger stretch. Hi Joe, how are you? Brilliant. Okay, so place your feet on the floor now and take your arms out the side in a T shape. And just gently allow your knees to go to the right as you exhale and your head to the left. Breathe in up to center. Breathe out, knees over to the left, head to the right. Breathe in back to center. So just keep going from side to side in time with your breath. Rolling your head from side to side. Your knees going the opposite way to your head as you breathe in and you breathe out. Oh, Roger Marsden's back. Hello, Roger. We missed you last week. You weren't here. Totally missed you. Hi, Roger. Hi, Neha. Hi, Lizzie. Hello, Lizzie Gray. How are you? Just keep moving from side to side. Yes, Petrol. You okay? And then come back to centre. Hold behind your hamstrings. Cross your ankles and rock yourself up to a seated position. A nice, comfortable cross-leg seat. Use your hands to lift your bottom up and just stick the tailbone out slightly to enable your hips to level on the floor. Hands are alongside your hips. And allow your knees to drop out to the sides. Now, if like Paul, sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to sit cross-legged because you have tightness in your hips. You can then place a block or a couple of cushions underneath your hips, and it allows the hips to open a little more. Sometimes lower back pain comes from tight hips, so it's about opening those hips a little bit more. Do you need to be higher? Are you okay? Okay. Inhale, take your arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. And just creep your fingers along the floor. Now your fingertips might reach the floor. You may be one of these people. Stick your bottom out. Draw your tummy back towards the spine and start to creep your fingers forward. Relax your chin in towards your chest when you reach your maximum. If it hurts your ankles coming forward like this, then push out through your tailbone and it will increase the stretch. Keep breathing. These are all ones you can actually do laying on your bed. You don't even have to get a yoga mat out. You can just lay on your bed and do this, which is, I think, is a good thing. And then walking your hands back in. Hands by your hips. Change the cross on your legs. And then start to inhale and lift your arms up over your head. Exhale, fall forward. Stick your bottom out. Bring your torso, your tummy back towards your spine and creep your fingers forward. Just see how far you get. We'll do this again at the end of the class and we'll just see if you can reach a little bit further, if it feels a little bit easier, if there's more movement in your back. Are you still breathing? In and out through your nose if you can, but keep breathing. It's important that you do keep breathing. And then when you're ready, walk your hands back in. Inhale, lift the arms up over the head. Exhale, left hand comes down to the side, right hand reaches over. So the left hand's on the floor alongside your hip, and the right hand reaches over. And when you reach over, don't fold the shoulder forward. Open it up to the sky like you're opening up pages on a book. So you will be opening up that chest to the side and reaching over your head. We should have put the garden umbrella down. It keeps clonking me as I lift my hands over the head, but that's fine. If anything, there's a slight lean forward rather than a sit back, so you get a pure stretch on the side of the body. Inhale yourself back to center. Hands by your hips, realign, grow out, tall out of the pelvis, no slumping down. We're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders in the back pocket. Then inhale your hands over your head, and this time the right hand goes down to the floor and the left hand reaches over. And remember, as we reach over, we're opening up the chest to the sky. There's a slight lean forward. Have your upper hand, the palm facing down, reach with the fingers as far as you can go. Getting in the muscles alongside the spine. Are you still breathing? Are you still reaching? Still opening up the chest to the sky? And then exhale, bring yourself back to a seated position. And then roll over so you're onto your hands and knees. We keep those for later, just in case. So on your hands and knees, it's important to make sure that your hip is over your knees and your shoulder is over your wrist, because we want to get the full length of the spine as we're in our tabletop position. So we're going to start doing a few rounds of the cat. Really good for moving the spine through its full position. So as you inhale, the tailbone points up to the sky, the tummy drops to the floor, and your belly and your lungs and your ribs fill with air, and your head comes up last. And then as you exhale, don't change the upper body. Start at the tailbone, tuck the tailbone under, and roll the spine up towards the sky. The last thing that moves is your head as it comes into your chin. So in time with your own breath, start the movement at the spine. Inhale, allow the spine to relax, lengthen down towards the floor. The last thing that comes up on your last inhalation is your head as you look forward, bring the shoulder blades together. Then exhale, start at the spine. Start rolling that spine back up towards the sky, and the last thing that happens is you're chinning towards your chest. So in time with your own breath, close your eyes, feel your spine moving fluidly between a curve down towards the floor and then a curve up towards the sky. A real nice big push at the end for the movement between the shoulders, just in time with your own breath. Again, another one you can do in your bed. You don't even have to get your yoga mat out. In fact, you can video yourself and send me your yoga workout on your bed, because it's a good, there's no effort involved, in your PJs on your bed. Breathing in and breathing out. Brilliant, good job. And when you're tired or when you've had enough, you bring the toes to touch, you take the knees a little bit wider than your hips, and you sink back into an extended pose of the child. The cat posture has a really good balancing effect on the breath and the body, because it balances a forward bend, which is relaxing, and a back bend that's energizing. Really work on taking your tailbone down towards your heels. We don't want your bum sticking up in the air. We want your bottom as close to your heels as you can get it. So if you've gone too far forward, then you need to bring your bottom back towards your heels a little. Are you still there? Good. Are you enjoying this stretch? Wonderful. Keeping your bottom as close to your heels as you can, place your right hand on top of your left. And then keeping both arms as long as you can and straight. Keep your hips level. Don't let one of them twist round or rise up. Start to walk your hands together over to the left. So you're going to stretch along the side of the body. It's important that you really sink that right hip down towards your heels. You want it as close to your bum as you can get it, so that you can feel the stretch all the way along the side of the body. If you're not getting it, it might mean that you've brought your arms too close to your body. You need to stretch away with your fingertips and take your bottom down towards your heels. It's brilliant. Lovely, lovely, lovely stretch. And then bring yourself back to center. Take a moment, take a breath, realign. Sink the bottom back down towards your heels. It's important that you get that, so you get the elongation. You can even tuck the tailbone to increase the stretch. If you've got someone who's very, very kind, they can, if you ask them to do it really, really carefully, place their hands on your hips to encourage your tailbone down towards your heels. But don't get someone who's not mindful, who just comes and like sits on you. That's not a good thing. Okay, so now we are going to put our left hand on top of our right. Yep. And we're going to walk our hands, lots of length in the arms, round to the right. Drop that left hip down. Keep it down there. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Wonderful. Good job. This is a really good restorative forward bend. So if you're feeling worn out by the day, and you just kind of think, I just need to recoup some energy, this is one of the things that will help you do it. Any kind of forward bend is very, very calming, very restorative. You need a bit of energy, then you do a back bend. Keep feeling the length along the left side of the body. You should take the hands round and breathe. Can you hear those birds? They're going mental. Who needs music when you've got bird song, traffic, and your neighbour's playing basketball? It's all good. Bring your hands back to centre. And then rise up onto all fours. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then tuck your toes under and come back to sit on your heels. So walk your hands towards your heels, toes are tucked under, and you're sitting back on your heels. Opening up on your feet. It may be uncomfortable for you to do this, I do understand, but try as hard as you can to do this every day. If your feet are really uncomfortable when you do this, try and do this every day. If you keep your feet open and strong, it means you're able to do the other things you love doing for longer. And then rise up so you're on your knees, toes still tucked under, but your hips, knees, shoulders are in alignment. Roll your shoulders back and put them in your back pocket. That's your first move. And then you're going to bring your hands, fingers pointing down towards your knees, and you're going to put your hands on your bottom in your back pocket. The aim is to keep the hips over the knees, and then we're going to draw the shoulder blades back and together. So we're not just hanging out here, we're really working on drawing the shoulder blades back and together. Keep the hips over the knees. Tailbone going down towards the floor, and then start to open the chest to the sky. So we're opening up the chest to the sky, keeping the hips over the knees into a camel. Now it's up to you, seeing how you feel, but you might want to put your hands on your heels, or if you're really good, if you love back bends, you may have flat feet and put your hands on your heels with your feet flat on the floor. But the important thing with this is that you have to keep pushing your hips forward so that they're over your knees, drawing the shoulder blades together, opening up the throat and the chest to the sky as you pull the shoulder blades back together in this camel position. It's not for everybody, it's quite tough for some people, but just be mindful that you choose when you want to stop. So when you have had enough, flatten your feet, sit back on your heels and return to an extended pose of the child. Stretch your arms forward, take a moment. Take your tailbone down towards your heels. It's a strong back bend, a strong chest opener. Quite hard, opens up on the front of the thighs a little. It's tough, but you either love it or you love it a bit more, because no one hates anything in yoga. And then tuck your toes under and take yourself up into downward face dog. So this is where you're a triangle with your bottom at the top. The knees up off the floor, take yourself up and back. So we're going to get the spine moving. Inversion, this is an inversion because your head is lower than your heart. So just take care. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our knees down towards the floor so they hover an inch off the floor and take the weight over our shoulders. And then as we exhale, we're going back into downward face dog. So we're just working in time with our breath, moving on an exhalation, holding on an inhalation, just in time with your own breath. Knees come down, and then nice and slowly as you exhale, going back. Warming up the spine, getting the hips moving. Anytime you want to rest, you rest. Is that 3, Paul?
Probably.
3. I like 3s. Do 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever suits you. But then rest back in downward face dog. Lift up your right leg behind you and step it between your hands. And then put your left knee on the floor. Lift your chest up. Bring your chest through your hands. Hands are on the floor. In low lunge. Sink your hips down. But keep drawing your chest through your hands as you look forward. And really sink down. Keep sinking, sinking, sinking. The hips are going forward and down towards the floor until you get an opening in the left thigh and the left hip flexor. That's Helen. That's alright. I've never been good on left and right. Vicky will tell you that. If they say left, I generally go right. If they say right, I generally go left. Sinking down, opening up. Now lift the left knee up off the floor. Take the left heel away from you, but stay in the low lunge. Stay in the low lunge, so bring dip, 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 drop them forward. And then lift up the right hand and open it up to the sky. Try not to flex on your wrist, keep your wrist nice and relaxed as you open up towards the sky. Like pages on a book. Keep your chin in line with your sternum, head in line with your sternum. Breathe in here. And as you breathe out, bring your hands to frame your front foot and step back into downward face dog. All of these things, opening up on the quads and open up on the hip flexors and the lower back, and open up on your chest. All these things help your back to be more supple and more strong. So from downward face dog, lift up your left leg and bring it between your hands. You can put your right knee on the floor, or you can leave it hovering. I don't mind. And then just look forward and lunge forward, as if you're about to come out of those running blocks. Really lunge forward, sink the hips down. Feel the opening on the front of the thigh, on the front of the hip flexor. Bring your shoulder blades together as much as you can, and bring your chest through your hands. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Excellent. It's a really nice, gentle way to open the front of the thighs one at a time and open up on those hip flexors. If this is something you find a little bit of a struggle, this is maybe a stretch that after if you do other exercise that you can do at the end of the day or before you go to work. Just take one thing out of the class and practice that. And then lift the right knee up off the floor, so you're in a proper low lunge now. And then open up with the left hand towards the side, like you're opening the pages on a book. So keep opening the chest. We're not opening up to the side, but keep looking down to the floor. We're opening the whole of the body up towards the side. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Noisy birds. Breathe, 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 breathe. And when you've had enough, return to low lunge and then step back into downward face dog. Bring yourself forward into a plank position. Take your heels away from you. You can do a full plank or a half plank, but take your heels away from you. Engage your bottom, engage your core muscles, and then either with knees up or knees down, slowly lower yourself down towards the floor. Good job. Elbows underneath your shoulders and lift yourself up into a Sphinx position. Elbows under shoulders. So forearms are on the floor like you would be doing a forearm plank, and then just bringing your chest through your hands in a Sphinx pose. Keep breathing in and out through the nose. Opening the chest. Take the tailbone down towards your heels. Kneecaps need to be pointing directly down towards your mat. Don't allow the heels to roll out or roll in. Stretching the front of the torso, stretching the front of the tummy, and then lowering yourself all the way down to the floor and pushing back into downward face dog. Good job. Bring yourself forward into a plank. Knees up or down, halfway down chaturanga. So this is where the elbows go back at a 90-degree angle, and then push through into upward facing dog, either knees up or knees down. And then lift the knees up and back into downward face dog. Tiptoe your feet between your hands or hop your feet between your hands, whatever you prefer. Come to a halfway lift. So this is fingertips either on the floor or on your shins. You try and lift the torso up so it's parallel-ish with the floor, and then you take the weight forward into the toes. So nice strong hamstring stretch. Fold all the way down. Circle sweep the arms up to the sky and look up towards your hands in a slight back bend. Inhale here, and as you exhale, fold all the way down to the floor and step or hop back into downward face dog. Lift that right leg up behind you and bring it between your hands. And then from here, come up into high lunge. Inhale here, and as you exhale, blossom open into warrior two. Important to notice your right knee points towards the little toe edge of the mat. The weight on the left foot is again on the little toe edge, so don't allow your ankle to collapse in. You're actively trying to lift the arch of the back foot. If you've done the opposite foot to me, it doesn't matter. Just remember to do the other side when we go into the other side. So breathe, breathe, breathe. Lift yourself up and back into Peaceful Warrior. And then bring your hands to interlace behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring yourself forward and bring your chest on the inside of your thigh. Try to lift up the hands over your head, squeezing the shoulder blades together. When you've had enough, you then bring the hands to frame the front foot and step back into downward face dog. Get my water. All this talking is making the thirsty work. Lift up your left leg behind you and bring it between your hands. Use your core. Use your sense of balance and bring yourself up into high lunge. Hands over your head. Beautiful. Inhale here, and as you exhale, blossom open into warrior two. So the back foot turns at a 45-degree angle. The right knee is bent and over the ankle and pointing towards the little toe edge of the left knee. Yeah, left knee is pointing towards the little toe edge. Right, the toes of your right foot need to be at a 45-degree angle. So it's not a flat foot, it's at a 45-degree angle. You should be able to, holding this, lift your toes up off the floor. Charlie is on a slope that goes down, so it's a little bit more difficult to do that. Inhale here, make sure everything's aligned. We'll focus on the middle finger of the front hand, so that's where you look. And then inhale here, and as you exhale, tip back into downward face dog, into Peaceful Warrior. Laura, Peaceful Warrior. And then keep lengthening the front of the body before you interlace your hands in the small of your back. Interlace them in the way you didn't interlace them before. And then bring your chest forward so it's on the inside of your thigh, and lift the hands up over your head. If you've got big strong shoulders and your hands don't lift far, that's fine. If it's really uncomfortable, you can take hold of the elbows and lift the elbows up. But it's about opening the shoulders, opening the chest. And again, you choose when it is that you've had enough. And whenever that moment is, your hands come to frame the front foot and you step back into downward face dog. Wonderful. Bring yourself forward into a plank position. Breathe. Think about pushing up through the shoulders, keeping your head in alignment with your sternum, not looking up, not looking down, and taking your heels away from you. And then transfer the weight onto the right hand and take yourself into a right side plank. Lifting up. Now, if you struggle with this, you can step the left foot in front of you, so it's at a 45-degree angle, and that will give you more stability, or you can stack your feet one on top of the other, or like Paul, you can split them. When you're feeling a bit wibbly wobbly, return to downward face dog. Have a little rest here. Yes, you're resting in downward face dog. I know. How kind am I? And then when you're ready, roll yourself forward into a plank position. And do the other side. So weight in the left hand and do a left-handed side plank. Breathe. Focus. Stretch through the fingers. Remember, look for those signs. You can no longer breathe in and out through your nose. Your jaw's tightening or your body's shaking. Then you go into downward face dog. Don't hold things for longer just because I'm asking you to do that. Do it when it's right for you. And then tiptoe your feet between your hands. Come to a halfway lift. Fold all the way down. And sway your hips from side to side. Hello Liz King, how are you? And then straighten your legs and come up onto fingertips. And then spider crawl your hands round to the right. Try and keep both legs straight as you feel your hamstrings stretching. And breathe. Relax. Sometimes it takes them a bit longer to give. And then spider crawl your fingers back to the center and take them in the opposite direction. Keep breathing, nice straight legs, feeling the hamstrings give in. If holding things doesn't work for your body today, you can move between the two. You've just got to choose what is the right thing for you. And then bring yourself back to center. And nice and slowly roll yourself up into Tadasana, into standing. Placing your shoulders in the back pocket. Choose a focal point, a drishti point. It can be a leaf, it can be a speck on the carpet. You can even have something you like to focus on. With children I use a glass diamond, but you can choose whatever it is you do. And when you've got that focal point and your breath is settled, then start to come up on your tiptoes and back down, just to keep your feet nice and healthy. Up and down on your toes. We're not bouncing. You can see Paul's using the strength on the bottom of his feet and his core to lift himself up and down. And then the next time you come down, stay where you are, see if your feet feel a little bit different. And then try to do it on one leg. So if you want to hold on to this, that's fine. Right height, and then you're not leaning forward. So I want you to hold on to a wall, hold on to a chair, and then standing on one leg, bringing yourself up and down. Just do 2 more. And then once you've done 3, swap to the other leg. if you're a little bit wobbly, just smile. We all have wobbly days. Shoulders in your back pocket. Feet are hip distance apart, which is about hands distance. And then what I'd like you to do is take yourself into a chair position with your arms out in front of you, not overhead, as if you're holding a big ball, and take yourself down. So the knees stay over the ankles, it's the bottom sinking down. See how low you can go. Keep your arms outstretched in front of you, tailbone tucking, tummy engaged, knees and ankles going in, toes going in the same direction. We don't want the knees going one direction and the feet going the other as we sink down. And then once you've got to your max, see how you feel about keeping your hips where they are and lifting up your body. When you've had enough, the hands come down. Forward bend, a little shake of the legs, and then roll yourself up into a standing position. You see how low your hips were as opposed to... Oh, bye-bye, Neha. Thank you so much for joining us. I will record the rest of this session and then put it on YouTube and share it on Facebook, so what you've missed you can catch up later, but thank you for joining us. So now I'd like you to come up onto your toes, put your arms out in front of you and do the same thing. Sink your bottom down. Keep your toes lifted, knees going the same direction as your toes. Keep your heels lifted, knees going the same direction as your toes as you sink the bottom down. See if this version is any easier. And again, when you've had enough, the hands come down. And you lift up the bottom to the sky and roll up into standing. So, what was easier for you, Paul?
On toes.
On your toes. Okay, so let's try it on our heels. So lift the toes up off the floor. It doesn't have to be the whole foot, just lift the toes up off the floor. Okay? Arms out in front of you and start to sink down into your chair pose. Keep the toes lifted. Knees going the same direction as toes, because one or other sometimes wants to splay out. Try and keep the body as upright as you can. I know it's instinctive to take it forward, but we're trying to keep it as upright as possible. And again, when you've had enough, you fold down and bring yourself up. Is that easier?
That's tougher on the thighs.
Tougher on the thighs. So the changing of your foot position enables you to do different things with the rest of your body. So your feet are a really important part that need to be cherished, need to be looked after, because they affect how we stand, how we walk, they affect every part of our life. Brilliant. So we are now going to go into our full chair pose. So lift the arms up over your head and sink your bottom down. Wherever it gets to, just be happy. Bring the hands to Namaste. Lean forward. This should make it easier to sink your bottom down. Rotate your body round to the left and bring the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Keep sinking those hips down. Check. You see Paul's knees are at the same level. One's not forward and one's not back. And he keeps sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. It's a nice strong twist. And then from here, change your focus so it's just in front of the left foot and step the right foot back so you're in a twisted low lunge. On the toes. Twist. If you can get the back leg straight, that's good. If you can't, don't worry. And again, when you've had enough, your hands come to frame the front foot, step the back foot forward, and return to Tadasana. Roll those shoulders back and put them in the back pocket. There's a big, big move. When you're ready, give yourself a moment, give yourself a couple of breaths. And just when you're ready, lift your hands up over your head and go back into your chair pose. Excellent, Liz. Yeah, no, that's fine, sweetheart. Join whenever you want. Bring your hands to Namaste and then twist the other way. So you're twisting your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Push the hands into one another. Open up the chest to the side. Breathe in and out through your nose wherever you can. And then when you're ready, drop the gaze to just in front of your foot and lift up and step the left leg back into a low lunge. Twisting to the side. Smile if you lose balance because it's always funny. Keep twisting. And if you can, look to the side. If you can't, don't worry. Keep your gaze where you can focus and balance. Keep your breathing in and out through your nose. If you're no longer breathing in and out through your nose, then the hands come to the front foot and you step forward. Because those are one of the signs that's telling us to rest. And then bring yourself up into standing. Just a little bit of fun. Step yourself back so that you're in the center of your mat. And step your feet wide for a Malasana squat. If you know when you do a low squat that your knees point out, then your feet should point out. You have to keep your knees and your feet pointing in the same direction. This is a really good one for a back opener. So inhale, bring your hands to Namaste. Exhale, take yourself down into a Malasana squat. So you want to have your arms on the inside of your knees. Because not being horrible, what Paul does is his knees don't always go the same direction as his toes. It's just how your hips are. But keep sinking your bottom down, lifting up through your chest, pushing your arms into your inner thighs to open up on your legs. And breathe. Sometimes it's easier to come up on your toes. And then bring your hands on the floor inside your legs. Rest your knee, inner thigh on your triceps. And then see about transferring the weight forward to see if you want to go into a crow position. So then the feet lift up off the floor and you bring your toes together. You may do it, you may not do it. It's just a bit of fun. Excellent. It's tough, but just give it a go. And then take yourself in, when you come out of it, bring your feet down to the floor and return to a natural forward bend. Forward bend, yes. Uttanasana of forward bend. Hello Karen Tillett. Hello Angela Miller. How are you? And then unroll into standing. Roll those shoulders back. You've done a lot of work today. Hopefully we've opened your lower back a little bit more and opened up on the shoulders, because I know that's with working at home and working on the computer a lot more. A lot of people are all curled up this way, so we're trying to open up everything that way. So lift your arms over your head and swan dive all the way down to the floor. Step back into downward face dog. And then lift up your right leg behind you and step it on the outside of your right hand. Back knee on the floor, off the floor. Walk your hands one hand's distance forward. And then bend the elbows down towards the floor. Last big hip opener. It's got to be done. It's either lizard, head of the cow, Gomukhasana, or pigeon. And I think this is the one that's less impacted on the knees, but actually really opens up on the lower back and the hips. When you've had enough, step back into downward face dog. Or into tabletop, I don't mind. And then lift up the left leg behind you and step it on the outside of your hand. Back knee on the floor, off the floor. And then inhale here, and as you exhale, bend the elbows down towards the floor. Sometimes the outside one will come down quite easily, but the inside one won't always get there. It depends how open your hips are. But good work. Don't stay in something that's really uncomfortable. Make sure that you listen to your body. If you're not breathing in and out through your nose, or your body's shaking, those are all signs that you need to stop and come to a neutral position. So you need to decide when that is the right time to do that. And then straighten your arms. Step back into down dog. And then bring yourself into a seat with your legs in front of you. Feet flat on the floor, knees pointed up towards the sky. I'm just going to give Paul these cushions to sit underneath his bottom. And then come to a simple cross-leg seat. So we are where we are. So you may even be able to get your feet a little bit closer, your knees may feel a bit more open, and your hips may feel open. And your lower back definitely should feel open. So let's have everything crossed that they are. So inhale, lift your arms up to the sky, and exhale, fold forward. Is it easier? Pardon? Yeah, you've gone further. You've gone further forward. Stick your tailbone out, draw the tummy button back towards the spine, and take yourself forward. And then walk your hands back in. Change the cross on your legs. Sit up nice and tall. Grow out that pelvis. Be long in your torso. Inhale, lift the arms up over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Oh, that's much. It looks much easier. So, I don't know. Some of you may have got that. Oh yeah, I've gone further. My back feels more open. My hips feel more open. I can fold further down to the floor. Some of you may not have changed at all. I don't know, but I'm sure you'll let me know if you've gone a little bit further. Nearly there. Nearly time for the worst bit of yoga. You know what the worst bit is, don't you? Relaxation. Walk your hands back in. Uncross your legs. Roll them around in the hip sockets. Give them a little bit of a light relief before making your way onto your back for relaxation. So, Paul's decided to stay with these legs bent, which is really good, especially if your lower back is a little bit tender, because this position with your feet wide in your hips and your knees dropped into one another puts your lower back, your sacroiliac joint, into a neutral position. Arms away from the body, palms facing up. And start to breathe in and out through your nose. In and out through your nose. As you breathe in, feel the tummy rise, and as you breathe out, the tummy falls. Breathing in, feel the tummy rise. Breathing out, the tummy falls. Breathing in, feel the tummy rise. The ribs expand, the collarbones lift. Bye Angela Sim, thank you for joining me. listening to the sound of your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Just focusing on your breath, your inhalation and your exhalation, like a gentle wave on the ocean as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Thoughts may come into your mind. You might get distracted by the noises around you. Or you may even fall asleep. All those things are perfectly natural. Just as soon as you realise, start to connect with your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. And listening to the sound of your breath like a very gentle wave on the ocean. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Listening to the sound of your inhalation and your exhalation. And then just return to normal breathing in and out through your nose. Start to become aware of the sounds around you. The sounds of the birds singing close to the video. The sounds of drilling in the background. And then gently and slowly start to deepen your breath in and out through your nose. Allowing awareness to grow. Have awareness of feeling relaxed. Refreshed, re-energized. And then start to wriggle your fingers and wriggle your toes. A very gentle nod of your head from side to side. A great big stretch on the floor. Oh, and a lovely yawn. And then when you're ready, bringing your knees in towards your chest and giving them a big hug. A gentle rock of your hips from side to side, turning your head in the opposite direction to your knees. Maybe a circle of your knees 3 times one way and 3 times the other, just to warm your lovely lower back up again. And then when you're ready, curl up in a ball on your side. Give yourself 1 minute. Acknowledge your yoga practice. Acknowledge your relaxation, allowing your mind and your body to absorb your yoga practice and your relaxation. But feeling refreshed, relaxed, and re-energized. And then placing your upper hand on the floor when you are ready and pushing up and away into a seat. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining us for yoga. Thank you, Paul, for being my student, even though I'm a grumpy yoga teacher today. thank you so much for joining us. I will save this and I will post it to YouTube. So if you have friends who want to do a yoga class and you think they'd like it, please send them in the direction of the YouTube channel, or Thank You From My Heart, or the Facebook page. If you haven't subscribed to the 18 Yoga page, I think I've got 3 subscribers. I'm not very, I don't think I'm ever going to be a YouTube sensation, but if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be lovely. Just to let you know, I don't feel comfortable starting group classes again that people can attend, because the bottom line is that I'm not confident or happy that if someone in my class passed on COVID to somebody else in my class, that I would be comfortable with that. So I'm not ready to teach group classes, but I am teaching one-to-ones. So if you're interested in a one-to-one, please private message me and I will get back to you. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, gorgeous Vicky. I hope your back feels better. Hello, Patricia and Morley. You're late to the game, but don't worry, I've saved it. You can have it. And Marla, thank you so much for joining me all the way from Coventry. Marla used to be in my class and she's moved away, but now because I do this, she can do it with me. So that's just fantastic news. So thank you, all of you, for joining me. And I hope to see you next week. Take care. I've got to walk towards the camera, so I'm going to have to do it like this, because otherwise I cut my head off and you can't see me. Hi, pal. No, thank you so much for joining us. So, oh, that's my neighbour Paul up the scaffold. Hello, Paul. Sorry. So I'm going to save this now. Take care. Bye-bye.